I'll start up in about a minute or so. Just another minute. In the meantime, watch the sunrise in Foundation. Ah, yes. Hello, notorious EBD. I'm just gonna keep calling you that, because I find that name is wonderful. Now, most unfortunately, I cannot actually, like... Oh, excuse me. Abandon this chapter. But really, the only thing that happened is... There's a traitor in the midst of the immortal flames. We have an emissary, or we had a meeting with an important person from Ishgard. Turned out to be Sir Aymeric, the leader of the Temple Knights. And he asked us for a favor. Whereas, if we look into the stirrings of Midgard Zormor's corpse in Mordona, then he will see to it that the supplies we get from House Forton continue without any complaints from the rest of Ishgard. So it's been nice. I really wish I could show that again, but it's on the previous bod, you guys can see it. Like, his voice is just so nice. I'm sure, I can't remember if we get another voiced scene with him related to this after this. I do know we see him again, obviously, before the end of Realm Reborn, but yeah. Pay no attention. Yeah, pay no attention to the fact that I don't know how to work this very well. Okay. Music here is so pretty, I can't get over it. Aymeric flushed emoji. Aymeric flushed emoji, prince emoji, kiss mark emoji, eggplant emoji. Oh! Right. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Yeah, I have to talk to Alpha now. Hey, Alfie. Hey, baby boy. Well, I mean, considering how tall Elezen men are, it makes, and how tall Aymeric is specifically, it makes perfect sense that it would fit him. Just when you're starting to make progress. And to make matters worse, the caravan they spoke of was bound for Revenant's Toll, of all places. Honestly, were I so inclined, I should think the gods were conspiring against us. Oh, and then right before I stopped the stream, we received word that the most recent shipment of supplies was attacked once again by Lady Iceheart and her heretics. Happily, however, I am not. I would know more of this attack. Let us speak with Lord Harchefont and find out what he has learned. Oh, so I have to go into the building where I just was. Right, got it. Oh, a storm blew in. God, I love the weather here. You can hear the wind. Oh my God. My sincerest apologies for the interruptions, my friends. Interruption, rather. But the situation is such that we must act swiftly. If you would be so kind as to elaborate? Iceheart's heretics fell upon the caravan bound to Revenant's Toll as it was passing through Boulder Downs. 'Twas an ambush, swift and ruthless. In an instant every knight was slain, every crate seized. Then, as quickly as they had appeared, they were gone. 'Twould be an impossible feat without knowledge of the route. Route? Knowledge of the route? Whatever. Knowledge to which only a select few are privy, I presume. Quite. We can pursue that avenue of inquiry in due course. It seems to me that examining the scene of the ambush should be our first concern. The trail is yet warm. We must act swiftly, as Lord Harchefont said, lest crucial evidence be lost. You have a knack for discerning hidden truths, Eva. Why don't you go and inspect the ambush site in person? An excellent idea. Inform my men of your intent upon arrival, and they will gladly share their findings. Not everyone's as in love with me as you are, Harchefont, but goddamn if I didn't wish they were. Oh, wait. South? South. No, I wasn't really paying. Like I said, I'm good at directions in real life, but you put me in a little fantasy world and you're like, here's the map, and I'll be like, cool, and I just go straight. Like, no matter where I have to go, I just go straight. Everyone should be in love with the warrior, right? Yes, exactly. Although if Frey were to have their say, they'd be like, yeah, you can feel however you want, fucker, doesn't mean I gotta like it. Which, that's why I love Frey. I'm going to do that questline as well. It won't take long, like how the Summoner one didn't take long, which I have to pick that up again. Oh look, dragons are attacking. Not my problem. I have to pick up the Summoner one again. And Dark Knight we'll do once we get to Ishgard. Those are the... And Astrologian, I think. Summoner, Astrologian, Dark Knight. Those are the three I think are... They're important for Eva. But, what you learn about summoning in the Summoner questline is important. What you learn about astrology and the Astrologian studies and the heavens and the astrologian one in the first set anyway is pretty cool. It's pretty important. I kind of want to go through that. No, that one I'll put a star next to that as a maybe, but the Dark Knight one I absolutely want to go through on stream. Oop. really think of what else. The Red Mage one is fine, but there's a really frustrating trial that I do not feel like doing on stream. White Mage, no. So yeah, it's just Summoner and Dark Knight as definites. Oh no, I didn't want to, I hit the wrong button. I meant this. Move along, adventurer, there's nothing but... Lord Horshvamp, bid you speak with us? Then you must be... Oh, beg your pardon, Scion. As you can see, they left nary a crate behind. Tipped the wagon for good measure, even. Bastards. Whole thing's a bit odd, if you ask me. Would have been easier to just steal it, though a damn sight harder to conceal it, I'll allow. Reckon they came prepared, probably with wagons of their own, hidden away off. But hey, pay no heed to my ramblings. Absence of proof is naught but speculation. Might be as the squire receiving care at the observatorium could tell you something more factual. That is, if he's awake. Unlike myself, he was there during the attack. Not as his presence amounted to much. Well, that's mean. As my best friend said, this game is a dating sim without the payoff. So yes, everyone should be in love with the Warrior of Light. Sometimes it feels like everyone is. Well, most of the men anyway, but there's no payoff. That's why we have to be the change that we wish to see in the canon. Wait, these doors open? Holy shit, I didn't know that. Or I guess I forgot about that. Hey, dude. You've come to ask about the attack, haven't you? The payoff is in my mind. Yeah, it's in our minds, it's in our playlists, it's in our fan art, it's in our fanfics, it's in our works that are inspired by this. Anyway, whatever. We came upon them before the entrance to the Hall of the Seven Echoes. Pilgrims, you marked them as, lost and ill-equipped for a journey further north. A woman with silver hair flowing like melting snow. Ooh. Our leader must have thought the same, else why would he let her draw so close? They exchanged some words I couldn't hear, and she leaned forward as if to kiss his cheek. And then he sighed and crumpled to the ground. I didn't know what happened until I saw the snow turn red. And then there was red everywhere. Holy shit. Okay. And I just lay still and listened. Iceheart's people spoke of deliverance and resurrection, and they spoke of Shiva. Hey, Alphino. They spoke of Shiva. I'm gonna go report to my 16-year-old spirit. No kidding. I think I've said it before, but I'll repeat it now. That Alphino is more often than not, like, paired at the hip with the Warrior of Light because he is, by proxy, he says the things that the Warrior of Light would either normally say or ask, while still maintaining his own personality and his own character. But if he says something that you think like, oh, that's too wise, or how does he know these, how is he smart enough to know these things in terms of like tactics or planning, guesswork, blah blah blah. Not only is the character smart like that, but he is also written to be that way and voice things that the Warrior of Light, who was also incredibly smart, experienced, good at stratagems and whatnot, would say. So he's really just in some ways an echo of us, while also maintaining his boyish stupidity. Yeah, Shiva. That's all I got for you, buddy. Seems the Lady Iceheart does not scruple to sully her hands with blood. Who is this Shiva the heretic spoke of? Have you not read a single line of the Enchiriadon, Master Alphino? Shiva was a traitor to kith and kin, an apostate who laid down with dragons. Now, we cannot expect all foreigners to know Ishgardian scripture so well, particularly when it concerns the patron saint of heretics. Wait, You say she is their patron saint? Oh no. It all makes sense now. Lord Haurchefant, what was the caravan's cargo? If I recall correctly, the Diamond Forge had requested a rather large quantity of crystal. Do you not see? Iceheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva, as a beast tribe would a primal. Why else would they go to such lengths to secure crystals? I shall inform the Lord Commander at once, Lord Haurchefant. You would agree that discretion is of paramount concern. Of course. I trust we can count on your continued support, Master Alphinaud. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are sworn to combat the Pyramothet. Our support is a given. I will need to send word to my brethren at Revenant's Toll. Our entire order must turn its efforts to the prevention of the summoning. Naturally, that includes you, though I am sure you would not miss this for the world. Yeah, I want to see this bitch. Sounds cool. Just so you know, Kyriadon is an actual word. It was written by the Stoic philosopher, I think it's Epictetus? I'm sorry, it was written by Arian of Nicomedia. And it's just a collection of advice from Arian's teacher. I wonder what it actually means. Ah, okay. It pretty much refers to, it's a book that you keep ready in hand, like a manual or handbook. So that, it seems to me, it's like a pocket. It's sort of like I don't want to say a Bible, but it's a really easy on hand to keep tome, I guess, that is the basics of Ishgardian faith. Alright, he's gonna go tell Menphilia, then get his little army men, and we're going to meet him and drill him out and fight for in front. And finally, oh, Hades made this. And then finally, we're nearing a dungeon, and then a trial. Like, we take care of this stuff related to Ishgard, and then I think it swings back around to primals, and then politics stuff in Eorzea. And that's all three of that. That's the setup for what's happening in Heavensward. Because as we already saw, there are two Ascians sitting at the right and left hand of the Archbishop of Ishgard. Valhabrea 2.0 and Elidibus. Oh right, yeah, Adrenalimon's at the top of the tower. And it's so much easier to just fly to the top. Sorry, Alphinaud, I didn't mean to land on you. Oh, my bird landed here quicker than I did! Look how tall he is. He's very tall. Don't mind me, I'm gonna take a picture. Damn it, that naked guy in the background ruined it. Naked cat boys ruin everything! Alright, I'm gonna have to wait for him to leave. Okay. Go, Catboy. Go, Catboy, you can do it. You do it, Catboy. There we go. Hi, aymeric. Commander Levelier's assessment is most troubling. If he is correct, Iceheart now poses a threat to Ishgard at large. Also, I love that he has a greatsword. He was meant to actually have a sword and a shield, but I don't know, for some reason they just didn't put it in. So now he just basically wields a greatsword one-handed. That's how much of a fucking badass he is. Oh, my bird's here too. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn wish to join in the hunt for Isart. Your assistance is more than welcome, my friends. Yeah, naked catboy photobomb. You'd think he would be very cold out there, but no. We are all ears, Lord Gillimore. A band of pilgrims was seen transporting a large number of crates to the west. Our scouts lost track of them at Snowcloak, that self-same frozen wall which we speculated might conceal the heretic's hideaway. The disappearance of these pilgrims and their provisions all but confirm our suspicions. I have heard enough. My knights will join the hunt. I took the liberty of summoning a unit of Crystal Braves, of my army men. I'm gonna call them my army men. Of my action figures, there we go! Of my action figures to wipe in front. Given the gravity of the situation, I trust you will agree that we must use every resource available to us. These are extraordinary circumstances, Commander. It would be in our best interest to coordinate our efforts. I love the ... Like, okay. Such is my intent from the start, Sir Aymeric. I have this headcanon that Aymeric, while being strained, polite, and courteous, is also just like, I have to work with a 16-year-old. Or the 16-year-old thinks he stands at the same level of military knowledge as I do. But he is making sense, but at the same time, his familiarity unnerves me, rather. But no, Aymeric too nice for that. Although, no, he may think it, but kind of keep it somewhere else in his heart. Okay, Isart will not elude the combined forces of my action figures and the Temple Knights for long. Nevertheless, the wise man does not wager all upon the success of a single solution. We have to find out where the fuck they are. You want to talk to Lord Dermont? Yeah, I'll talk to him. I mean, he's standing right to your left. You could probably ask him too, but okay. Yes, yes. Excellent. My lady, everything has been accounted for. If there's aught else you would have us do, pray speak and it shall be done. You know what's pretty cool? How Aymeric's colors are blue, black, and gold. And her colors are blue, black, and silver. I have to indulge this teenage boy. Yes, it's like... Tickle. The rich boy makes a point, unfortunately. Dark words, dark deeds. Huh, that's a Crucio Scion reference. There, I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention to you, Aymeric. A formidable foe demands a calculated response. I just love how tall he is in comparison to her. Like, she comes up to about, I guess his rib cage? So yeah, he'd have to bend at the waist for a smooch. Okay. Love you, Lady Isart. Oh, that's right. I have a minion of her. But I have a selection of minions in mind when we get to Ishgard. I just have my Halloween ones out now. Except for the bird, of course. We conducted an exhaustive and covert evaluation of everyone in White Room Front. Though some were found to have committed certain minor transgressions, we identified only one possible heretic. If this man has pledged himself to Isart's cause, he will have taken note of the movements of the Temple Knights and the action figures, and upon recognizing their intent, he may attempt to warn the heretics. The man's watch is to end soon, at which point he must report to Sir Jean Drummond in the yard. I would have you keep an eye on him. If he ventures beyond the walls, follow him discreetly. Should he meet with a heretic, do not interfere. Simply watch and listen. I've seen to it that the suspect does nothing which can endanger our plans. Anything else? Sending his forces to Whiteburn Front prior to his own arrival. Your commander is certainly decisive. Ooh! Ooh! God, I love you, Aymeric. I love you. What? It's easier. And you don't die. Listen, after playing Dark Souls and Bloodborne, where you can take fall damage and die, in a game where you don't, unless there's an enemy around, I'm happy. The suspected heretic leads to the southwest gate. I'm gonna get on my broom and follow him. Discreetly follow on my broom. Oh wow, you see his footsteps in the snow. That's really cool. Alright, as much as I love the burb, I also love how far back he stays. Also, fun fact, Shoebill's, let's see, Shuba is known to be literally unmoving. Its hunting effort consists of waiting for prey to wander by its feet before it deigns to strike. For reasons unknown, it saw fit to accept you as its master, and now follows you wherever you go with the bare minimum of exertion. And yet, love can move shoebills. So guess what? He only moves for love. However, I'm going to give him a bit of a rest. Kitty! Look at my kitty hopping in the snow. Oh my god, did she leave paw prints? She doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, he loves you. Flushed emoji, flushed emoji. Yep. Yep, he loves you. Oh, kitty got ran through the tree. Apparently you can see, I'm going to be careful with this, you can find the shoebill around certain locations after, I can't remember during what quest it is, but you can, it's during a quest when you're meant to kind of like observe your surroundings really carefully. You will find the shoebill in various locations, like at a distance, kind of keeping an eye on you. There is one in the main questline itself that you can't avoid. You will see him, and he's kind of like leading you in the direction of finding a friend. And then, of course, there's where the shoebill ends up at the end. Reen actually comments on it when she sees the bird. She's just like, oh, like he seems a bit lonely, don't you think? Hey! Hey! Where in the seven hells are you? I'm freezing my bollocks off here. I'm here, you blundering oaf. Why are you late? Standing on the wall. Why else? I have duties to fulfill, you know. Your sole duty is to the... Bloody echo. Lower your voice, or they'll hear us in Whitegrim front. Yes, of course. The temple knights are... Snowcloak. This is what you bring to me? We already knew about our comrades in Boulder Downs who use the tunnels dead before they know what's happening. Nevertheless, you waste my time again. Is that clear? Oh wow, another fate near a quest. Who could have fucking guessed? Oh. Why did I think I had to go? Oh, because I had to follow him all the way around. Pardon me. Ishgard in the distance, looking like an Orlando. Oh no, I had to be all the way up there. God damn it. All right, get back here. I would have laughed so hard if it was the fucking car. Oh my god. Then I'm like, okay, I have to auger the car in somehow. Heretics are aware of our operation and confident they can thwart it. Comrades in Boulder Downs are key to their plans. Means key to our plans, they be rooted out and put to the sword. Yes, yes. Oh god, it's a horse. The allied forces at Snowcloak are in danger, and Lord Trinwalm would have you assist him in ensuring their safety. Shut up. Oh god, I have to take my medication. I forgot about that. Okay. Secret tunnels. Snowcloak may be riddled with passageways. Alright, go help the knights in the local area. Show them no mercy, Eva. Okay. You don't gotta tell me twice. Frey would rather have it that you don't tell me at all, because I would do it already. Okay. The guy on the organ is like, cool, okay, I get to play music, and then it's just like, no, sorry. And you're like, oh, okay. And he just kind of puts his hands down and sits there, waits for me to go back to a sanctuary so it can play music. Meanwhile, the guy with the guitar is jamming out every 5 feet because of the fates and where they're placed. Oh, fuck. I sense a hostile presence. Search the heretic's effects, and then go back from whence you came. This is pure witchiness, where I have the little black cat out, so it's like my familiar. I'm in these pretty black magey robes, which I'll have to change when I get to Shadowbringers, and that makes me really annoyed. It's like one of us has to change, and unfortunately it has to be me. And then of course the broom. The guitar is shoving the organ guy aside. He's like, my time to shine. It's like, but you're always... Okay. Little does the fate man know that I will very likely never listen to his music again once we get out of a realm of Lorne. Organ guy, like, yes, she's here! A knight sent no word of your coming, Eva. What has happened? What is that in your hand? This yellowing document is covered in a complex code of seemingly random letters and numbers. It's a code, sir.
Hi, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Hello, kitty cat. Kitty cat. Kitty's cats. Kitty's cats.
By the Fury, those are veterans with years of service. Yeah, I'm sorry. And now they lie dead in the snow. Their bodies must be recovered and... No. No, we have not the men to spare. Not now. Not while Iceheart prepares to summon an abomination. The heretics you dispatched were not of sufficient number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and the action figures. There must be others, and I'll wager they are on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, it seems the traitor you followed managed to pass the heretics something of value after all. The parchment you recovered is a timetable of the guardsmen's watches at our outpost in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there long before he aroused our suspicions. Would that we had caught him sooner. With this information, the heretics would know when the watch was the weakest. They could use their tunnels with impunity and prepare their ambush. Well, then I'll go there and blow it up. The timetable has not changed, you see. Of course it would be changed now, but the heretics may already be in position. House Durandare must send reinforcements, even if it means withdrawing knights in the stone vigil. I can see no other way to safeguard the lives of our allies. Path of the Righteous. Ah! There's some parts of this that remind me of Dragon Age Inquisition in terms of like the Holy Seas, like the use of the seeming reference to not biblical, to holy texts that are these quest titles and just the general vibe of it, and it makes me sort of lament that Inquisition wasn't good. Because one thing I really liked about the concept of being Andrastes, or like the Herald of Andraste and whatnot, is how you were put in a position of influence within the church, whether people liked it or not. And how fun it would have been if, not fun, but how interesting and engaging of a story it would have been if you, I don't know, like it, if it, I don't know how to describe it, but because I almost want to criticize it and be like, oh, it would be fun if you had more influence and you could change things within the church. And I'm like, well, you can technically change things within the church. And I guess I mean more like I wish that Inquisition was a wider reaching, a game of wider reaching politics rather than it getting, or the concept, no, okay, let me completely dial this back. What I liked about Inquisition was the religious politics, the theological problems that you dealt with, that had nothing to do with Orlay's internal politics, and nothing to do with, I almost said the Asians, but nothing to do with, oh god, what is her name? Corypheus, yeah, and that dumb bullshit nonsense. I don't know, I just liked the theological politics of it. That game was a mess, though. And it's very unfortunate, but since Hawk was meant to be the Inquisitor, and like everything is written around that, and there's some parts where it's very glaringly clear where it's like, yeah, Hawk was meant to be the Inquisitor, so some of this makes a bit more sense when you imagine it that way. Oh god, that person had the same idea I did and they jumped down. Corey isn't even how I know, right? Like, if you're gonna give me like this ancient god, the ancient megalomaniacal god-seeming being. At least make him cute. I will say, however, that I absolutely loved the DLC for Inquisition, so I think that's almost always how it goes. Except for Origins. Origins, I absolutely loved every single thing about it. And DLC was just really good. 1 DLC is really good, dealing with the family legacy. I really like that. But that's it. Anyway. Lord Drillimore recognizes that the situation in Snowcloak is coming to a head, then that decisive action must be taken. Time is of the essence. Okay, then stop talking. I beseech you, fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Aymeric everything we have discovered. Okay, after I take his dick out of my mouth, I'll tell him everything I have discovered. Ah! Sorry, I got distracted thinking about his dick. Origins is the best, yes. Like... If the game just... Or if the series just stopped at Origins, I would be so happy. I would be so happy. The only good thing about 2 is that, I always forget her name. It begins with an M. Is that the Admiral's, this game's Admiral, she voice acts a character in Inquisition, and she's amazing. Absolutely amazing in that. I adore her. She's the only good thing about that game. I could say Gideon Emery is also a good thing about that game, which is true, but I don't know. I think also my experience with Dragon Age 2 is colored by, 1, I had a really buggy version of the game, and 2, I kind of posted offhanded some random thought as I was going through the game about blood magic. And this was just going off of the knowledge I only had of Origins going into Dragon Age 2. And I just, on my Tumblr, I wasn't tagging anything, I was just posting whatever. And then someone found that post and made this long essay. When I say an essay, I mean truly an essay with like screenshots of quotes and all this stuff, and just insulting me and saying really horrible things about how wrong I was, and how it was just this really cruel and mean thing. And then I was getting like anons insulting me, and so I messaged the person. I'm like, hey, can you delete this reblog and like make your own post with all that stuff you just said in it, because I didn't tag it, I wasn't looking for a discussion. And they said, well, I would, but I'm getting a lot of notes on it, so I don't want to take it down. And knowing that, 1, I had a buggy version of the game that did not let me beat it. That's the other thing. I had to... The first boss fight, it wouldn't let me leave the arena after I left it. And second, knowing that there was some fucking lunatic like that, staunchly defending the mages to that degree, taking it seriously as if mages were real, and as if, you know, the Church of Andraste, the Chantry, as if that were real too, and refusing my request because they were getting more attention based upon how horrifically they insulted and demeaned me, and that I was getting anons from it insulting me. Like, it was just, it made me so furious, and I'm like, why the fuck? Like, I don't want anything to do with this game in particular. I don't want anything to do with this game, and I was so mad I almost broke the disc. Not at that person specifically, but it's just like, I can't even beat the game. The game won't let me beat it, because this is how buggy it is. Oh. Anyway, Dragon Age sucks. And if you think you're going to get a Dragon Age 4 and it's going to be good, you're fooling yourself. It's not going to be good. Eva. Oh, hello. This is a welcome surprise. Perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden... You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Levoyer been informed? The action figures must be made aware. Like, Eva, I just said your name right away. This is a welcome surprise. Like, yay. He's always so happy. Like, he and Harshaphon are always, like, the only people who are always so happy to see you just because you're you. That's it. They're the first two who are happy to see you because you exist. It must be here, I'm certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? Ever finished Dragon Age 2? Yeah, don't do it. There's going to be quests that you're going to be so furious about. And I know David, not Hater, but, not David, one of the writers for Dragon Age 2 was really grateful and retweeted something that a fan said on Twitter where they're like, one reason I really like Dragon Age 2 is because it's a series, it's a game of a regular person being elevated to a position of influence just because they're capable of doing things. But they're just a normal person. Like, they haven't been trained for certain stuff, or like, and all they do is make the best decisions they can in situations and an environment among people and in a city that is constantly like on a downward spiral. So Hawk makes the best decisions they can out of 2 bad decisions, and it just gets worse and worse for them. And like, it's not their fault. It's the intent was to show the I guess the failures of a hero, not through the hero's actions, but just in how hopeless the situation is. And I'm like, okay, that was your intent, I get it, but that doesn't make for a fun game, especially a game where you have choices. So if you're giving me a game that has choices, and your ethos, or not the ethos, your theme for the game or for that story is a hero caught up in a series of events in which there are only like one decision leads to worser things, and it's not their fault, and it's a hero can only do so much. That's fine, but don't put that in a game where I have to make decisions and I'm like, okay, well maybe I made the wrong choice, and I go back and I play the game again and I'm like, oh, there's really only one outcome for everything. I really can't influence anything in any significant way. Okay. And then even the choices you think are significant, then you play Inquisition, and then the Inquisition's like, well, we can't make any overt reference to this character. Or we're just gonna take some of their decisions into account. But it's not gonna have any significant change on our overall narrative, because we have one story we want to tell. So your decisions from 2 onward are basically just cosmetic. And I get that's because it's a series, so they do have to keep that intact. But then the solution to that is to make every game's story be complete in itself. Origins was kind of like that. Origins, you could totally do that. You could, and leave things as a mystery, I suppose, if you wanted. I think maybe one of the main things that would necessitate a sequel to that particular story is what happened to Morrigan. Where did Morrigan go? If you didn't, kill her. But, like, and even then, the way all the endings worked out, the way your decisions worked out in Origins, all of it made stories that were complete in themselves. You didn't have to know more. You didn't have to know what was going on after that. And Dragon Age 2 could have totally just been like, okay, this is this family at this point of the history of Dragon Age, in this particular time. Like, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be the same year or years after. So it's like, okay, then they won't mess with characters you know. It's familiar in that the setting is familiar, but you can go to new places, discover new things, blah blah blah. Like, that's what it should. I'm sorry, I'm talking about a bad game in the middle of a good one. 'Tis a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. This is all wrong. Isart has us scrambling to save our own skins, and we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her and stop this damnable summoning. There she is. Come here, girl. Alpha knows a guy. Yay! God, I love Ida. I love Roma-born Ida so much. That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Ida. Because I thought he was a girl, yeah. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. Oh, do they think he was his sister? Commander Lavalier. There's been a development.
There's been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances to half some
Oh, everyone's gonna be annoyed about that. Anyway, found some half-dozen tunnels. Not all, sir. Heretics nearly flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha! Just as I suspected. Amongst this barren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Alphino. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they were to converge on this point after we entered the tunnel? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more of a hindrance than a help. A change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Aymeric and keep the heretics at bay here, you will go wherever that tunnel leads. If you find Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You'll venture into the unknown, so see that you're prepared for anything. I suggest you call upon your allies, though not too many, or Papa Limo will sulk. No, I'm on New Game Plus, buddy. I'm going in by myself. Is Aymeric here?
Aymeric!
Aren't you going by myself, Aymeric? I am informed that Commander Lavalier has asked you to lead a party down one of the tunnels, a characteristically daring proposition. Yet I can think of no one better qualified for the task. I bid you good fortune.
Aw, thank you, baby.
The entrance to the tunnel, madam, is just over there. Per Sir Aymeric's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post.
Oh, okay, yeah, guard me. Guard me, Aymeric. Thank you, baby.
God, I love him so much. I wish I could find someone who loved me as much as Aymeric loves me. Snowcloak. Formed in the aftermath of the calamity, the great ice wall has been thought an impenetrable barrier between central and western Carthus. In truth, however, the wall is riddled with hidden tunnels, which Iceheart and her followers have used as a base of operations. You have been tasked with exploring one such tunnel in the hopes that it will lead you to the heretic's leader, yet when dangers await are anyone's guess. Husby Aymeric. If you find the clip of him reading The Gingerbread Man, it sounds like, I'm saying this just for the recording's sake, it sounds like Aymeric reading a bedtime story to his kids. It's really cute. Ah, this music. This is one of my favorite dungeons. It's really unfortunate that I'm gonna blaze the fuck through it, but... It's one of the best Roma-born dungeons, that's for sure. And it comes at the end of it. Oh yeah, I know, the music is fantastic. Who gave the bear a key? The white bear drops a tiny key. Really, who gave a bear the key? I mean, I guess that makes sense. No one's gonna go to a bear and take his key. He ate the key. I imagine it's either in his hand, it's in his paw, or it's around his neck. Don't stand in the wind or you take frostbite damage. If you have to attack something, attack it where the wind is not. Forgot there was a wall there. This boss fight's annoying because you have to have him freeze Spriggans to turn them into snowballs, and then when he does the arena-wide attack, you have to throw the snowballs, or hit the snowballs to him. It's very annoying to tank. Well, tank when you're in a party. These antique pieces you can get, you can turn them into someone in Mordona, and that allows you to get any level 50 gear for some of your classes. Say you accidentally got rid of it, or you got rid of it to clear up space in your inventory or your dresser, you can just give them those pieces and it allows you to get the clothes back. Come here, Spriggan. They're so cute. I'm glad you can get a minion of them because they're adorable. They're just like, look at this rock I found. Yeah, I love this rock. Look at this rock. I'm like, yeah, see, cool rock. The fact that Avis can speak lets you know that there's something strange going on with the heretics and the dragons here in particular. And if you don't interrupt that heretic's attack, he transforms into one of those dragons. That's why when you kill these things and one of them drops the key, it's called the Finger of the Apostate. I believe it's like a finger bone key that allows you to open the gate. It's kind of easy to miss, I think, if you're in the middle of the dungeon, you're running through, and you're really only paying attention to the combat. But yeah, they talk to you, so that lets you know that, hey, the heretics can turn into dragons. Or some form of a dragon. It's like a wyvern, I think. An avis, there we go, that's what they call it. In this puppy, 1, you can get as a mount at the Gold Saucer. He's very expensive. 2, his name is Fenrir, which is nice. Hello, Fenrir. How you doing? 3, the main gimmick here is hide behind one of the crystal pillars that remains after he does this attack. Yeah, you find out for certain that the heretics can turn into dragons. I think it has to be at some point during the storyline, and if not, then you find out for certainty when you do one of the special delivery requests in the Ishgard Restoration, because you make friends with a man who used to be a heretic who's stuck in that form but wants to be reunited with his family. And he's friends with the little baby dragon who helps take him home. It's cute.
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light. I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
Though I did not doubt that you would return, I am nonetheless relieved to see my judgment validated. Oh, it's like, I didn't doubt you return, but I'm also happy to see that my judgment that you are amazing and wonderful and perfect is valid. I guess so he could bring word back of that to Ishgard and be like, yeah, I met her. She's awesome. Everything she says she is, and more. Or they say she is, and more. I kept thinking about my joke last night of, I don't think anyone heard it at that time, but Aymeric gets a copy of the Eorzean Times delivered so he could look for any articles written about us and our recent exploits, and he's just like, ah, and he's like really happy to see what we're up to, and then he like has a couple of temple knights or some scouts, oh yes, probably some scouts related to House Vorton, look or make reports of any of our doings or if there's been any word about us, and then he like has them report back, and it doesn't matter even if the report is just a single sentence, he's just happy to hear about us in general.
He's got a big crush, just like Harshaphone.
That took longer than I expected. What news, Eva? Did it really take longer than expected? So Iceheart is but a pseudonym. Not that it matters. Of course it is. That she managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of that beast you did well to come as close as you did. Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they even find a route past the ice wall. The Crystal Braves, like the action figures, would certainly share the credit for it too. Isn't it cute? I just picture him like brushing his teeth and like or no, not even brushing his teeth. I'm sorry, like yeah, brushing his teeth and like reading a report or like drinking out of his coffee mug that says "Unfortunately, I'm the boss," and settling down in his robe and slippies that are also black, blue, and gold, and reading about us. Oh, it's so cute. And imagine he continues to do that even after Heaven's Word. Only he does so with a bit more measure of longing because he's not there on our journeys. Anyway, whatever. 12 be praised, Evo. We may yet turn the situation to our advantage. Aww. Apparently Minfilia is going to be here soon, so we don't have to head back to Camp Dragonhead to hear about the news of Shiva. Aymeric. Voiced, 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 voiced. Of course, she brings a coat. Not voiced. Antecedent. You came to us straight from the archives of House Fortin. I trust your time there proved fruitful. Would that it had. Oriange and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She fucked a dragon. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins, according to Asgardian faith. So, Manfilia, you think there is something worse than fucking a dragon? I like you, and I like how you think. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. I like how the game doesn't even be like, that's weird. Yeah, how such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Actually, wait a minute. It would make sense if men can turn into dragons, you imagine vice versa. Yeah, suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we will find a useful answer in the archives of House Fortin. Yeah, she fucked that dragon. Yes, she did. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case one wonders if it is by circumstance or design. Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to the endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Aymeric might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that a tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. Can I help you, little man? Oh! You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Aymeric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I expected a certain single-mindedness. Oh my god, that dog. After all, was it not by the will of Helone that your ancestors came to this land? Why they took up arms against the Dravanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? Hold on. Gotta close the door. There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time, nay, a different era, and Scripture tells us only so much. Would that it told us more. That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiating table, to be sure, less so when one's enemy is making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Isart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman, of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Magomag XII, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Muggles Guard. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Minfilia. They have them both in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the aetherite Isart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another aetherite somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second aetherite, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Isart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Charlian may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it would take us to survey the entire tunnel system. I don't know, often it seems like we should want someone who's pragmatic when we're dealing with terrifying gods. Though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my action figures would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you were not aware. I knew you would understand. Yu Hase can apprise you of the details. Come find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilberd and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in his investigation. I do like seeing all these little bits and pieces of Alphino being cocky and one, knowing how it turns out, but even if I didn't, knowing that that's a writing setup for a downfall. A full survey will take time. Making for Donovan Pass. Grateful if you join them. Never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. Repeatedly he's been telling us that, what he does for money. Or that he's going to earn his money. And honestly, that's to be expected of a Lalafell, and to be expected of a Lalafell of Ul'dah. Oh, flew right over you guys. Oh my god, did that marmoset hurt you? Oh no. What happened, buddy? Balls, my ankle's on fire. Cut my boot on a rock or something, twisted it as I fell. I went through the pass. Might you be able to catch them? Look for tracks. Snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. Wait, I'm confused. Oh. It's to the south, okay. Oh my god, that fucking dog. Up, okay. Wait, that's underwater. I forgot we don't get underwater flight until Stormblood. Underwater quote-unquote flight. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Let's go, kitty. Let's find him. Oh. The little puffs of snow that happen, that pop up with every little hop the cat makes. Alright, that one's not sure where the heretics went. Wait, how did he... Oh, he's a Lalafell. He runs real fast. I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant would be watching. Be late and be left for dead. We can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. You should restrict your search to the wilderness. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. Seems y'all have inherited Alphino's uncanny knack for giving orders. Oops, that's a dungeon. With, a certain snooty air. Oh my god, it's the car! I wish the car just lifted off without these things coming down from the side of it. I don't know why it does, but I just wish it wouldn't. Oh shit, we got him. Yugiri! There are places like this in my homeland. Sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet your lands ever thirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it is drunk deep. I have done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will. We shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Hey, Yugiri. Fancy meeting you here, Eva. You told me to come. No, someone told me to come here. No, wait, he didn't tell me to come here. But a tangled web, lest you wonder we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. Beggar's belief, I know. It seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Alphino is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for the spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. This is a most generous offer, Lady Yugiri, and one which I gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching. A comforting thought. Come, Eva, let us wait aside for Captain Ilberd to return and deliver his report. I'm thinking of ordering some coffee. Because while I did have mine, it went a little cold, and I do have some money to spare. And I don't really get hungry until later, and I'm also not eating meat, so I have a limited option of stuff in this house. I don't know if it's my imagination, but the writing in part 6, I'm not sure which patch that is, but the writing leading up to Heavensward is significantly better already than the writing of previous parts. Where I don't know how to describe it, it just feels it feels a bit more nuanced, it feels a bit more distinct or slower. It feels slower in terms of not in pacing, but slow in that it's kind of like how you ice a cake, where it's you put down layer after layer, like you gently make layers on top of the narrative, where it's like, okay, not only do we look at what the characters are going through, we look at like what the characters are going through, but then so their dialogue is not just character establishing, it also takes part of the story, and they feel more conflicted. And I do admit that it can only really come to that point because of what was established in A Realm Reborn. And that's why I think that's also another reason why Heavensward is so good, is because it has the rather simple, like, skelly bones foundation of the story and the characters, and then Heavensward can truly flourish based on that, and then not even based on A Realm Reborn's content, but its story. It's personal, like, not personal, it's self-contained story. Because there's a lot to it, like what it's set up, like, oh, there's a 1,000-year war against the dragons. Holy shit, what's that about? There's heretics side with the dragons. Holy shit, what's that about? Like, Ishgard is so new. That's another thing. Ishgard is new. And A Realm Reborn had to retread a lot of things to tie up 1.0, or kind of not redeem redeem 1.0 in a sense, and it was limited to certain places in Eorzea. But now Heavensward can go beyond those nations, and specifically to a spot that we don't know much about. And so not only does it have the foundation of Realm Reborn's basic concepts and characters to work with, it can then grow and expand into something wholly new on its own, and that's why it's so good. But hold on, I need to help my grandmother with something, and then I shall be back in a few minutes. Captain Ilberd seemed confident the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble if pressed. 'Tendrils of intrigue. Man couldn't tell us anything we didn't already know about Shiva, so the Holy See will take care of it. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on shipment routes. Okay, 5 people involved with the tangled scheme and the Immortal Flames. One dude knew about shipment stuff. Privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement, including those from House Forton. What of the Ivy? A relentless pursuit has forced the Ivy to commit a grave error. The Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. Consider that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say the agent is among Raban's innermost circle? Sure is. I too was surprised, though I shouldn't have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Old Oz was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration, because Old Oz a piece of shit. Both Limsa and Limsa and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones, mind, under the same leadership, only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Ulda's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies, answered only to their own paymasters. Ulda sucks. Bomb it, turn it to glass. Difficulties Raban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained a small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Recruiting every passing sellsword, which is what you did, Alphino! Our Doman allies are shattering several high-ranking flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Okay. And the refugees are eager to lend their aid. Yeah, fuck Ulda. All my homies hate Ulda. Yeah, God. The one thing I think would prevent Eva and Aymeric from getting together, truly, is that she would look at Ulda and be like, yeah, we gotta get rid of this place. Just nuke it. Use Ultima on it, get rid of it. And Aymeric would be like, I don't really know if that's the good way to handle this. And I'd be like, Eve would be like, no, it's, you gotta salt the fucking earth. And he'd be like, I don't know about that, sweetie. And she'd be like, you know who would support me in this? And he said, you would be like, who? And you're like, Emmett Selk. Okay, an emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called, so... I would have you accompany me, Eva, as the realm's stoutest champion. 'Tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. He says this repeatedly, and it's interesting because he'll say it like, "Oh, well, my presence has been requested, and you can come too, and don't worry, you have permission to be with me." So I'm like, does he? I feel as if he's sort of glad to have this, like, oh, my position's like, I'm allowed to be there, but you need permission to be there. And it's not that he's saying that out of distaste for us, it's that he's proud. He's very proud of the position he's in. He's very glad of his influence, and that he's even needed or wanted at all. Okay, we're headed to Gridania. He would support me. You're absolutely right. He'd support you, girl boss, and he would be like, alright, it's a small step towards the right direction. Because even though, you know, maybe do this without bloodshed, the bloodshed is probably referring to me. But it's like, oh, okay, so she wants to get rid of Ul'dah. That's one small we could turn this into another calamity, can't we? And be like, yeah, alright, go ahead.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
All right!
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Hey, you know what I like? I like that Emperor Solus was still alive, though slowly dying, when you came to Eorzea. And that as, I suppose as you succeeded in your efforts against the Ultima weapon, he passed away. Either earlier than that or around that time, and then didn't bother to be like, oh, okay, and this person is going to succeed me. I just like how it's like the timing, I suppose.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
I choose to believe he was honestly so heartbroken that his eldest child died, obviously so untimely, that he's just like, nope, fuck this world, fuck this, or just fuck this empire, I ain't picking another one.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
Another thing I noticed is like the way the camera is angled and the way the camera moves in scenes and what it focuses on. It's more dramatic and I don't want to say theatrical, but kind of cinematic. There we go.
Not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartano dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
There's a lot of nodding going on.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Just smile and nod. Like, yes, he's saying things that everybody already knows. Smile and nod at the child. Alright, give me one little second. You know what I love? When cats sleep, but they sleep in like the little croissant shape. Like they'll hold, well, my cat anyway, she like holds her back paws. Which is really, really, really cute. Oh, hello. Ooh, that's very pretty. The nation leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but the unity means little less to the common folk. Like the Lamentans. Admiral Merlvib outlawed piracy over a decade ago. Foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. Well, that's because it's true. And likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees. Which is also true. And the Uldans scorned as swindlers who worship coin. But that's also true! Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds. Duh. The fact that people are wary of outsiders whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. The Ivy. Captain Obert has further shortened his list of suspects. Happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is lately come to Gridania. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilberd near the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. I think we're kind of... Oh, I wanted to say close to winding down. But I know there's like one more significant arc after the Karthus one. No, I don't think we're close. I think several hours. I want to say maybe like 4 or 5 more hours, and then we're done with part 6. I don't know how long I've been streaming for. Let me see. I'm curious. 110 minutes ago does not help me, but that means not yet 2 hours. So, okay. Up, wrong way, sorry. Ooh, it's getting foggy. Pretty. Ooh, we have unmasked the Ivy, so we must proceed with extreme caution. Chasing Ivy instead of chasing Amy? Oh my god. I love it. I love the references they use with these titles. Oh my god. The spy we have been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Aline Roal. Roal? Yeah. Aline Roal, Roban's second in command. That bitch. That's why the camera shifted to her significant look. She was a mercenary of no small renown. Before, obviously, they said her skill with the polearm is yet to be believed. Is that reference to her giving good hand jobs? Of Ishgardian birth, high-ranked foreigner, mortal flames, barring the general himself. He chose his people based on worth, and that's why she was picked. The Monitorists did not raise a murmur of protest when she was appointed to her post, which is strange. Could it be that the Ivy had some hold over the Monitorists? Yes. Dun dun dun! Of foremost interest to us is Roal's presence here now. It's the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the flames in the absence of the Flame General. Well, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames, but she came here. She's here on some pretense, and she's up to something. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her. Okay. My character's so pretty. Like, I don't comment on it a lot, but I really, really like what I did with her appearance. I do find it funny that I have yet to have changed her hairstyle to what it should be during a Realm Reborn events. Because that was one of the things I did as I progressed through the game, is I made her hair, like, different colors, different styles and whatnot. So I suppose I can do that now. Because at the beginning I had it like a little longer to try to imitate a concept of like youth and innocence. And then as the game progressed, I changed it. Like it got longer, it got like darker. Actually, let me do that now. Not that it really matters, because it's not like I could do fan art or anything, but it's just, visually, I like how it looks, and I like the character progress and growth that it shows. I'm like, oh my god, she's so cute every time she does something. Yeah, that's how I feel about Eva too. I don't know, I don't know why I don't say anything about it. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hello! Let's change the lighting. I don't know why it does that. It always just shows the inn. I'm like, the inn always has the worst lighting. It's so fucking dark. Alright, I think my original style for her... Yeah, my original style for her was this. So I'm like, oh, it's cute. And I had it, or she had like pretty dark brown hair, but then as the game went on, it got like weirdly lighter, I guess. Yeah, and she always had like little streaks of like gray or white in it. One of these days, I will commission someone to do like a full panel, not a full panel, but like, this is Eva in Realm Reborn, Eva in Ishgard, Eva in Stormblood, Eva in Shadowbringers. Just based on hair changes. One of these days. Oh, and the braid is partly highlighted too. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love my baby girl. I love you, Eva. I'm so attached to her. She's like, I developed her as a character first when I began the game. She had a different name then, but then as I was kind of like coming up with an original story that I've been very, very slowly working on all year, I was thinking about what that character would go through, and then also paying attention obviously to what's happening to the Warrior of Light in the game, and just looking at the emotions of that, what the experience must feel like, and through that, oh, my coffee's here, through that just seeing correlations and connections, and then just kind of fell in love with Eva. Yeah, I think that connection comes as a natural extension of what your character goes through. So I saw this post, I think, or maybe it was a tweet, where it's like you start your character by naming them off like Taco Bell or some shit, and then you find yourself really falling in love with your character because their name's Taco Bell. Sorry if you can hear chewing. I got a tasty breakfast sandwich. My family has this uncanny knack for only talking to me when I'm doing something, or like as I've settled down to do something for myself, they're like, hey, can you do this for me? It's really infuriating. The Blue Badger Gate? Oh no. At least it's not a honey badger. Wait, what? Oh. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god, go away. Oh, no, okay, that person that's a friend. So I rescind my angry remark. God, I'm just... No, she didn't come this way. Yes, it is yummy. Nowhere to be seen, you say? We're in the 7 hubs we've gone through. Bruce, how could I forget? What? Might I interest you in some Moontoy tonic? A cup a day imbues a man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Yeah, perhaps another time. Wait, that necklace. You're Shinobi of Doma. Why are you talking about my dick? Yep. Just left your Donnie by way of West Shore Pier. Just as a merchant, but I'm not fooled. I think that's 12 for the Domans. Oh, someone over there completed the Final Fantasy XV quest. Good for you. Yeah, he does. Oh my god, you're right. He just says, perhaps another time, friend. But I think he's just politely refusing it. Like, yeah, whatever, just go away. And you're like, wait a minute. And he's like, hey, wait, I know you. That makes getting that tonic easier. In flagrante delicto? Oh my god. I first heard that saying in reference to someone catching two people in the middle of an affair. So in flagrante delicto basically means like finding them, like caught in the act, like basically finding them fucking. Which is obviously, that's not what happens here. But that's just what I always associate these words with. An explanation is in order. Guardians have their own method of communicating over great distances, rather. Alright, Sid found a way to disrupt the communications. So Royale would have no choice. Royale would have no choice but to rendezvous with the contact directly. But she's a well-known face in the Flames, so she cannot move about that island without being recognized. So that's why she has chosen the Black Shroud. Elle is in her common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. Love the way he walks. Just like... tick, 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 tick. Oh, no, it's this way. Departed over the bramble patch. Even though the bramble patch is just like a few paces north, I'm like, oh, I'm not running. I'll go on horseback. Eva's so pretty. Eva, my love. I love you so. Sup, bitch? You were followed, you bloody fool. Bye. No, I don't think so. I thought me running to the side would be a perfect way to escape. Thank you. Thank you, the notorious EBD. You were unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle, but if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelveswood? When last I looked, that was no crime. Now there was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then? Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now, come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. His surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that a position is untenable. What will you do now, Eva? I have no idea, truth be told. Oh, so the Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Okay, go back to the Rousing Stones, and I'll turn to the aftermath. Aw, speaking of talents, have you considered training in the art of the shinobi? You have the aptitude for it, I believe, so please give it some thought. Till next time, my friend. That's a subtle push, I think, where it's like, hey, by the way, we have the shinobi class. So it's like if you want to be a ninja, basically. Or no, shinobi, it's not really. Oh, ninja. If you want to be a shinobi, then you can go be one as well. I'm gonna be honest, one of the main reasons I went shinobi on my alternate is, well, one, I wanted to do every job that there was, or every class that there was, because I didn't on Eva, because she only has a select bunch of classes that she went. But also because I'm like, oh, in Sekiro, you're a shinobi. So it's like, oh man, I want to do that. Because otherwise I have absolutely zero interest. But then I found out, like, wow, that class is really fucking fun. And that made me realize that I tend to gravitate towards DPS classes for a specific reason, because they are usually the most fun and with more freedom. Alright, who's here? Oh, Salamine. Yes, but Higiri, you're missing the point. The individual doesn't matter. It was a team effort, and I was the one who oh, Thancred, you're trying to get in her pants. Oh, Thancred, you're wonderful as you are. Don't you worry. Stola. Oh, Satoru has grown beyond childish fancies of becoming a songstress. Now she aspires to be a legendary street performer. Oh, is that why you're juggling? Yeah, well, you are a clown to me, Satoru. She's so sweet, though. Like, she's one of the only good Lalafell that exist in this world. Hold on, guys. Getting some food. Get yourself some food. Could there have been some misunderstanding? Minfilia, you've been at this for so long, you have to know that traitors exist. You have to know. We made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. A simple plan. That's also a band reference. Okay, so ordinarily it'd be a simple matter to tap into the established Ethernet and thereby follow our quarry, but we've been unable to ascertain the position of the Etherite to which she teleported. She destroyed the second one, a reckless, desperate measure, but an effective one. We concluded that we lacked the expertise to develop a solution, so we've called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise, a colleague of ours who is currently en route. Aw, we could welcome her together. Oh my god, it's Moonbrita! Oh, I love Moonbrita! She's one of the best. Like, that's the thing I noticed when there's the female characters, they're all really, really good. Like, I make fun of Minfilia and such, but I don't do that with any actual sincerity. And then I make fun of Nanamo, which I absolutely do with sincerity. Sincerity, not sincerity. Sincerity, but I still think she has really good character growth. I just make fun of her because it's easy and she's a Lalafell. But in my heart, I actually feel really terrible for her. But yeah, that being said, when there's a good female character in this game, they're really, truly, honestly amazing. No matter how limited their presence is in the game. And note that I said when there is a... Oh, did I say when there's a female character? When there's a good female character, she's amazing. There is one glaring example of a terrible female character, but we won't know that till later. Here she fucking be.
Minfilia, am I right?
Her voice actress is the same as Catherine from Fire Emblem Three Houses.
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Ooh.
Moonbrita is an accomplished Arlean scholar and an authority on aetherite technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Arcean souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
I've never heard a Japanese voice. I wonder what it's like. Probably really cool, as they usually are.
it's been ages.
Oh, longer, sister.
They're not actually related, it's just a term of
Joyous
endearment.
reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Yeah, you gotta chime in there, motherfucker.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go on.
Sorry, I hit the mic. Thancred's like, yeah, come on, let's get into the good stuff. I want to hear it.
Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing Aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate the second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
Oh, this scene is so good. It's so good.
I'm sorry, but if the Aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
Well, the sound was a teleporting sound.
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Aetherite.
Well, you weren't there, but I saw it. Could be teleportation.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly.
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate.
Huh.
However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetherite is destroyed. But If even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risk the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
It's like, and if it fails, at least they won't suffer horribly. They just die instantly. Alright, go to Snowcloak. I have faith you will return to us as you always have. Excuse me. I just realized with this playthrough I can do this cute thing of picking her outfit based upon where she is and location and such. So since she's going to be moving to Ishgard, I can pick out heavier clothes or like Ishgard styled things like fur lining or like heavy sweaters and thick boots and stuff. Oh, it's going to be so cute. And then with Stormblood, that one's going to be interesting because she'll be wearing like the Far Eastern garb, but I always kind of avoided having my character wear that because it felt too much like, I'm like, well, Eva is clearly not from Kugane or Doma, so it just looks like she's some white girl that traveled to this country and is like, oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna wear these clothes and totally fit in, even though like it's fantasy, you can't apply real world bullshit to it. So I'm just like, no, I don't think Eva should do that. I don't know why. But I think I'll do it this time, only because Eva would probably feel less conspicuous just that way. And probably more welcomed, I guess. Gilbert sends his regards, interrogating, blah blah blah. Aw, I trust that, by which I mean to say, the others are waiting for us at the Aetherite. After you, Scion. Was he nervous? Oh yeah, he's nervous. Well, it's okay, baby boy. Oh, excuse me. It's ready. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube censors a lot of weird shit in chats now. I haven't been able to figure out how to turn any sort of censor off. But yeah, but yes, I agree. It was fun finding out that he's like that. We've done all we can, Eva. Let us withdraw. I was told that we have to go there immediately. Oh, okay. When your final preparations are complete, you seek out the beacon we have created. Oh, he's only... Oh my god, he's as big as Moonbreeda's leg. He is actually the size of her leg. Oh, baby boy. Cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Isart to our plans. Encourage you to call upon your allies. Yep. Before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message for you from Sir Aymeric. Yeah, what does Aymeric want to say? Madam, Sir Aymeric regrets that he could not be here in person and asks that I read you this letter. He wrote me a letter! Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need it is not her knights who stand posed to defend her. Eva Bartage, the warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you choose to remain. Where others would falter, you choose to rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service to a greater cause. May Halone bless you with good fortune, and see you safely home. Oh? My god. He is so wonderful. Holy shit. Sad letter, oh my god. For as long as their nation has warred with Dravania, there have been Ishgardians who instead choose to ally themselves with the dragons. Shiva is said to have been among the first, hence why the heretics revere her as a saint. That Isart and her followers intend to summon Shiva with the crystals they have stolen is plain, but is this unprecedented act even possible? If so, then Ishgard, if not the entire realm, is in grave danger. I can't believe he wrote a fucking letter. Oh my god. And again, it's praising you as the person. You are doing these things. You make these decisions. It's again, they won't be forgotten. And may Halone bless you.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
The Eden Raid version of this fight is fucking amazing, by the way. Not that this one isn't, but oh my god. Those who have taken out the sword shall perish by the sword. I think I'm okay, Shiva, don't worry. Oh, okay, she has to transform now. Everyone say thank you. Thank Queen. That song is cool too, it's just, you're not gonna hear it.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after.
Legacy?
Seek the keeper of the lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander a mother's gift.
Oops.
Hear, feel, think.
So, very clearly, she speaks to Hydaelyn, or Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. Which is interesting, because Hydaelyn has not spoken to us for some time, and yet has spoken to, at some point in time, has spoken to Lady Iceheart. And thus she sides with the Dravanians.
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
By the 12, you're alive. I mean, of course you're alive. Why wouldn't you be? Yeah. I said, what? And you're certain about that, are you? Dravanians are skilled with glamours, after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. No. Fair enough, I was only asking. She's still not sure we haven't suffered a head trauma. If you ask me, there's not to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the rising stones. Pay a visit to Wiper in front and speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. That or he's busy playing politics with his guardians. I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. She's like, I'm pretty sure you cracked your head on some ice and you're fucking nuts. And temporarily so, but I just want to be sure. Wait, do you have anything else to say? No, okay, no. It's like, I just want to make sure you're okay. Oh my god, the car! Oh, for fuck's sake. So, when I wheel my grandmother out into the living room to watch TV, the TV is set on a power-saving timer, where if you don't engage with the TV for a certain length of time, say, change the volume or anything like that, it shuts itself off. And she just sits there, as the TV warns her, hey, we're going to shut off, it's going to shut off, and the TV goes off, and then she texts me and she's like, oh, the TV's off. And it drives me fucking crazy, because literally all you have to do is just turn it back on. So, I'll be right back. Okay, I stand incredibly corrected. The trick I thought would work to keep the TV on does not keep it on. So I have to figure out what the fuck. But honestly, I hate that TV. So, mea culpa on that one. Hey, Alphino! Where you at, Alphino? Woo! Oh my god, is he inside somewhere? Alphino! Where's my baby boy? I want to see my little boy. Oh, he's upstairs. I want to see my little boy. Here I come. Aymeric! Hello, you wrote me a letter. Thank you. That you stand here now is proof of your mission's success. Praise be to Helone. Aww. Like, he's not like a totally... he's not a completely not brainwashed. She's not a overly zealous believer in Helone, but I do like that when he does say these prayers, he has so far said it only in relation to us. It's like, oh, okay, thank you. There she is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the warrior of light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you would be so kind. Yeah, some shit went down. It was real cool. But not too late to prevent further loss of life. An outcome worthy of celebration. And one for which we have Eva to thank. Thank you. Yes, you're right, of course, Sir Aymeric. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is the matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Drillamon, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that I have no doubt. I take it these are the self-same supplies the heretics stole from the House Fortong caravan? Less the crystals which comprised the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. On an unrelated note, Eva, might I trouble you to accompany me to Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. Took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. She just sighs. Men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray do not think less of him. So, in a myriad of ways, so it's like, so Harshafont had to be restrained by 6 knights, and you wrote me a letter. So that's why he's like, well, men give vent to their anxieties in a bunch of ways. Don't judge him, please. Oh, my cat was walking on air for a second there. He's just like, oh, on an unrelated note, Eva, can you come to Dragon's Head with me? Thanks. I never actually noticed that, or if I did notice it, I forgot. But Harshafont has to be restrained from running to you or running to make sure you're okay. And Aymeric, when he finds out what you have to do, writes a letter and makes sure that it's read to you before you go in to risk your life. And it's like, oh, both of them were worried. And that's why Aymeric letter is like, well, you won't be forgotten. Like, your deeds this won't be forgotten. And he makes sure that the letter compliments us as we are as a person for what we have done and how we chose this and how grateful he is, and that he prays to us, prays for our good fortune. I'm just like, oh my god. And then Harshafont's like, I'm not writing a fucking letter, I'm running. Although it is actually canon that Harshafont writes you several letters over, or a bunch of letters really, over your time as acquaintances throughout Heavensward, which I think is really sweet. I know, both of them are so sweet. So sweet. They're true knights. They're actually, like, not on opposing ends, but they're two different elements of being a true knight. Or Harshaphont is action and decisiveness and devotion in terms of just, I guess, more, not showy devotion, but more immediate active by what he does in the moment, usually involving fighting or shielding in some way. And Aymeric's knightliness comes in a sort of slower, measured decision-making, more gentler gestures. And both these men are true knights. And it's wonderful. It's so wonderful. What were you thinking, Eva? Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway. And then, engaging the abomination in mortal combat. By the fury, Eva, 'tis the stuff of ballads. A battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you are here now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Aymeric wished to have words with you and Master Alphino in private. He awaits us in the intercessory. Okay. Thanks. So Aymeric like, okay, Harshavant, when you're done yelling to let her know how grateful you are, make sure she comes talk to me. Harshavant's like, that's okay.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks.
I love his voice. His voice actor's so fucking good.
Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
It's so soft.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Nautalon.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We, too, have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Aymeric, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgardsormr could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights?
A big dick OG like me.
One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am now. Why do you suppose that is?
Oh, he's all about admitting that he's a bastard. Oh my god.
Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's Toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget. One born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Aymeric. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Legacy and loss.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone.
Is she okay with smutty letters?
Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you.
Aww.
Which reminds me, Lord Orchathon, if you would be so kind.
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Aymeric, I cannot thank you enough.
I can. Everyone get out. I'm getting on my knees.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
Yeah, if it's not gonna be like messenger sexting, it's going to be Eva calling up Aymeric on Link Pearl and be like, "Hey, what you doing right now? You busy?" He's like, yeah, I'm in my office. I'm alone." She's like, "Okay, shut the door. I'm gonna tell you what I'm wearing." And he's just like, "Okay, what are you wearing?" And she's like, "Nothing." And then it proceeds from there. Eyes unclouded. Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. Oh, fun fact. I don't know how many people know this, but when they refer to the planet as a star, Hoshi is a very poetic, loving way to refer to a planet in Japanese. So the threat to this very star, they're referring to this very planet, like this whole Hydaelyn. They would say Hydaelyn if it referred to like the essence of the star that they live on. Hydaelyn is like a sign of respect, but star. You'll find that going forward, they use star more often when referring to the planet they live on. And this has been used in previous Final Fantasies. Final Fantasy XIV referred to the planet as a star, which I thought was really sweet. Yeah. See, I don't think Aymeric would ask for that, but I do believe that Eva, in all her cheeky glory, would be like, "Hey, Alphino, draw a picture of my ankle." And he'd be like, "What? Okay." And then he draws a picture of one of her ankles, because Ishgard is as Ishgard is. And Eva sends it through Lucia, and Aymeric sees it, and he's like, "Oh god, this is so dirty. It's her ankle. Her bare ankle with nary a sock in sight." Okay. Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, the mere existence a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized peoples as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. So instead of dealing with one legion, it's the entire nation of Garlemald. Let's continue this conversation in Mordona. Oh, hold on, my friend's been texting me, and I don't wanna ignore them. That'd be very rude. Sorry, it's almost done. Okay. So I haven't spoken to that person in like almost a month, and they're like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" Have you, like they're, like the last we spoke, I was really stressed as always. What am I doing? And they're just like, you just disappeared, and I'm like, yeah, sorry. So I've just been explaining what's happened and where I am, which is right here. I think we have one more. Is it a trial? I think it's a dungeon. Technically a dungeon. It's like an 8-man trial. We have that coming up. And then we're... yeah, and then we're done with the combat part of post-Heaven... I mean post-Realm-Reborn, not post-Heavensward. What's up, Philomene? Oh, I thought I prepared meals for everyone, but the others are most hungry. Well, you don't have to be sorry. Oh, Thancred! This is gonna say, you're pretty, and they're alright. Trying to tumble the table now, are we? Don't give up yet, boy, Ida. Line him up. Oh my god, he's trying to fuck the table. What you do too is your own business. Don't say I didn't warn you. Oh my god. Is he that, like, sad? Or just, not sad as in, like, pathetic, but sad as in, like, is he really going, well, you know what, he probably is going through something horrible considering that, like, the Habrea was using him as a meat suit. What did she say? I'm sorry. Don't look at it. I do not fault Sir Aymeric for being less than forthcoming with his beliefs. Not even the highborn are beyond reach of the Inquisition. Oh, Jesus. True young leaders can be more amenable to new ideas. Then again, their lack of experience and influence can hinder their ability to enact reforms. Well, good thing he invents democracy in Ishgard, huh? Oops, spoiler.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Curthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once.
I think speak of it was a bit of a joke, considering I don't speak.
Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogulmog the 12th was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard-Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded, it would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard-Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
There's some commotion outside. Go check to see what the fuck that's about. Alright, I've been Dark Knight for a while. Time to go back to Summoner. Hearing them talk about summoning, like, oh my god, the art of summoning, and how forbidden and strange it is. I'm like, yeah, forbidden art of summoning. Like, just carefully hiding the carbuncle behind me. Like, yeah, only Ascians know how to do it. And you're like, Gishtola, have you spoken to your sister lately? No, why? I'm like, no, nothing, just, you know, what she's interested in studying, you know, summoning, cough, cough. Royale has escaped! She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial. Apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards. His plane she received inside help. She's quitting the city via the gate of Null to the bloodied spear in her hand. She makes her Castra Meridianum. I'm certain of it. Kilbard. Captain Ilberd and the Liverst are hot upon her heels. Pray you make haste to Camp Blue Block and join the hunt. Ooh, stream's been going for 3 hours. Once, it's about 10 to 3 now. I want to separate the streams, I think, because I don't want to finish Realm Reborn before most of my friends are here. Most of my other friends are here. So I think, yeah, the Ishgardian questline is done for now. So I think when this is done, after the, Royale thing is wrapped up, I'm going to take a break and start streaming again at 7 p.m. my time, which is in about 4 hours. It's okay if you can't make it, notorious EBD. I understand the time difference is an effect. Plus you're familiar with the chaos at the end of Realm Reborn anyway, so. No one made an attempt to detain her, so here we are. She must not be allowed to reach Castra Meridianum. Yeah, don't worry, I'm fine. Though it is really fun when it's mostly us talking. Because it's kind of like playing the... Oh my god, there's a Titan over there too! It's almost like playing the game together. I mean, technically we are. Technically. It's super fun! Yay! Oh Jesus. What was that? She has no loyalty to her own, not even the goddamn harpy. Okay, let's see. Oh, I forgot it synced. Oh, but it's also New Game Plus, so the sync doesn't really matter. Kitchen sync doesn't matter. Yay, Yugiti's here! Yugiti. Gasp. Pant. Bind her and do it tight. Yes, sir. Make sure you choke her a little. Good work, men. Her legs are still free. Well, I guess she has to walk, but still. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddened me to see you fallen so low. You assume I wasn't down here from the start. What would you know of Lo? You, a spoiled little lordling who has never known any want. Oh god, I take back my pole arm joke from before. Oh my god, I take it back, because I just remembered something about her past. Holy shit. Oh, I'm so sorry, Eileen. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it your God's given right to rule over others. You know not of our plight, the injustice that we low-bornish guardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to survive, stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagine me a paragon when I joined the flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you the only person ever to have suffered. In case you have forgotten, Raban himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth with little more than the shirts on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never do we bemoan our lot in life, nor do we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it in the chin. I probably shouldn't say that to you, and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different, then? 'Tis true that we were both mercenaries of lowly birth, and 'tis true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it is that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. You will return to Ul'dah to face justice, and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. Gee! Those are some big words, Ilberd. You have a lot of convictions. You are clearly a man who regards loyalty and trust very highly. Not so much as a hint of remorse. 'Tis well this sort of business is finally at an end. Like, Alphino, do you not listen to her when she said you're just some rich, spoiled fucker who thinks that you deserve everything you have right now? Are you not aware of that? Are you not aware, Alphino? A friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our allies more wisely than Roban has chosen his. I mean, you chose from the same way, like, the Immortal Flames are made up of mercenaries, and so are your action figures.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Roban. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Okay, I have to go to the Rising Stones and tell Minfilia what happened. And that is, I believe, as good a place as any to pause for now. I still have to get all of these streams in the playlist that I make, because I'm just realizing, like, wow, only the first video is in the playlist. Whoopsie doodle. So, yeah, thank you for hanging out with me, Notorious EBD. Streaming is, I actually really like streaming. I clearly don't do it with any intent of, like, getting recognition or noticed or making money off of it, which, you know, whatever. It does make me a little sad to see people who are also very fascinated with storytelling and lore and analysis succeed where I have not. Because watching people live out your dream is really hard. But I'm glad to be able to just do it at all and have friends listen. That's always really nice. So, thank you for hanging out. Oop. And I'll see you in about 4 hours. Remember, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard.